Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you to the weirdest day ever in a very long time. I have absolutely no idea how to feel right now because today's game, or at least what I saw, was impressive. It was good. It was a revolution. Xavi in 2 games achieved way more in what Kuman did in 1.5 years in terms of tactics, in terms of play. And in all honesty, I think I'm happy with what I saw more than with the result because I think overall this game gave us a lot of what we were expecting. That was a change of scenery. That was a breath of fresh air. I think that this team today, they make me proud, and I'm not going away defeated, even though it was just a draw. I mean, before most of the time, our team wouldn't do anything. Take a look at how we lost in the first game against Benfica and against Bayern Munich. We didn't even compete. But today we were the better team. You know what? We could have lost it in the last few minutes. Of course we could have. But I'm just happier overall because of what I saw, honestly. I really, really do think that. I'm very, very proud from what I saw. And I think that the pressure is back. The possessional play is back. The rotations in between are back. Gavi, Nico Gonzalez bossing that midfield at 17, 18 years of age respectively. They were impressive. They were really, really were impressive. And in the defense as well with the back three, it worked. Xavi put in a system with a 3-4-3 that it worked. There are certain things that I would like to see us improve on, but I think those will come with time. And most importantly, the problems that we had in today's game. You know what, guys? This is why I'm not worried at all, and this is why I will tell you the following. The problems that we have today, the problems that we had in this game against Benfica, the problems that Barcelona had, are all problems that are due down to the talent that they had up front. Because we didn't have a proper finisher. Memphis Depay wasn't on his day. Dembele came too late. He just came from injury. Demir is good, but of course he's still a little bit raw. Ansu Fati is not here, and even if we had Ansu Fati and Ousmane Dembele, we're still lacking a little bit more of quality there up front because they need to continue to improve. They need consistency. They need to get better. And finishing, poaching those chances at the end of the net, we needed that. Let me tell you something, guys. If we had Kun Agüero, for instance, in this game, we would have won it. I have absolutely no problem in saying that. I think that would have been the case. Ansu Fati, we would have won it. But we don't have that right now. So we kind of just have to deal with what is in front of us. And that's the reality. Sam says we gotta rely on Dinamo to take down Benfica 100%. Barcelona needs Dinamo's help right now. They really do need that. But seeing how we'll beat them twice in a row, I don't think they're very much in a position to give us favors. I think that Barcelona right now are in a very tough situation. And I came here to today's video saying that, well, I feel worried. I feel bad. Why? I feel disjointed because, once again, I feel happy with it, but this could probably be the game where we are out of the Champions League and we end up going to the Europa League. Europa League for Barcelona, it's something, two words that I would have never put in the same sentence together ever in my lifetime. But that's what's going to happen, apparently. That seems like it's going to be down the case. But you know what? There's another thing that I want to tell you. If Barcelona play today like they did, and they recover Ansu Fati, they recover Ousmane Dembele for the full 90 minutes, Barcelona can win that game. Barcelona can win that game. I have no idea how Julian Nagelsmann would set up his team. I'm thinking that Nagelsmann would potentially try to go out there and put on the full 11. That's what I think Nagelsmann is gonna do. That's where I see Nagelsmann being more influential per se, because I feel that he will try to take down a big opponent like Barcelona. And yeah, I honestly was happy with what we did today. I really, really was. The result is something that we of course cannot be happy about, but we played very good. Like Jacobs here says, we played very good today. Memphis wasn't good enough. We were unlucky. Let's hope we get at the game in the summer. We are seeing great progress in our development as a team. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I think that as a team, we are getting far better. I'm not going to knock down too much Memphis Depay because I think that Memphis Depay is a great player overall. And if we're talking about how we want to see Memphis Depay develop, certainly he's not the center forward, the striker right now in this team. I think that we will most likely end up seeing a front three for the rest of the season if everyone's fit of Ansu Fati, Memphis, and Ousmane Dembele. But when we're talking about who's going to be playing through the middle, it's probably going to be more Ansu Fati than Memphis. Memphis is way more suited to the left, in my opinion. He works well there. In the reason also why in the Netherlands he's so effective down the middle, in contrast to Barcelona right now, is because he has wingers next to him. He has Danjuma, he has Gakpo, he has Steven Berghuis, he has Steven Bergwijn. I don't know what's there. Steven Bergwijn is how you pronounce his name. But then the other guy, how he's called? He's Berghuis. I have no idea. The guy who plays for Ajax. Okay, that guy. I don't know his first name. But he has many options as wingers. And Barcelona right now doesn't have a proper winger. But literally today, Memphis Depay was all alone. He was all alone playing the front line. Everything that he had to do, every single ball had to go through him. He had to do the work to hold up the ball. He had to do the work to lay it off to somebody else. He had to do the job to distribute it and put it wide. He was playing all by himself. And that isn't a tactic that right now Xavi is employing. That is something that is down to circumstances because Memphis is our only natural striker right now that was fit in the game. Our only forward, our only winger, whatever you want to call it. Like, we were lacking Dembele. We were lacking... we are lucky against... we are lucky to not have our players. You know what? So I feel that is where we're just a little bit unlucky. We didn't have a player, so I wouldn't put too much blame on him. And Duca Moyen says, have not seen Barca play like this look good in a long time. These guys gave it a roll. All like what I see from Barcelona team, to be honest. Xavi would do great with his team in a year or two. I have absolutely no doubts like you. I think that Xavi with his team, he has come in to revolutionize it, and it's working perfectly. He was so good in this game, like as a manager. He read it perfectly. He put us our tempo all the time. There were certain occasions where Benfica are going to strike and you could have gone down, but we were all over the field with them. We dominated. We were pressing. We had possession. Be it Nico, be it Xavi, be it everybody who came in from the bench. They all came into the same tune and it worked out. You know, like when we need to stretch the game out, he put in Dembele. He realized that Yusuf Demir was cutting inside too often. Demir, he doesn't have the same confidence on his right as he does with his left. So he's most likely going to try always to cut inside. And that didn't work. So then we try it out and go ahead and play with Dembele, who Dembele is one of the most naturally gifted footballers on the world right now because he's able to just play simply with flares on the right because that is something that he just does incredibly well. You know, he doesn't care too much about which foot he's going to use. He read that well. He bring in Dembele. We stretch out the game. We had more pace for the right-hand side. But then Jorge Jesus did something really unorthodox, but it worked. He decided to take out Rafa Silva and brought in Valentino Lázaro to play as a left back. And then he pushed Alejandro Grimaldo as a left mid. So you had literally two left backs marking Ousmane Dembele. And that was a huge problem. I would have most likely put Dest then in the game, but not to play as a left winger, but to play more as a right back in behind Ousmane Dembele, because I think that we needed that extra person to help us overlap for the right. That you saw it on Twitter if you follow me, those match summaries that I do at the end. I said that I think Dest and Dembele should have overloaded for the right, because I think most of the time when you have a winger trying to encarar, trying to go in the one-on-one, you need to rely on one of your fullbacks overlapping. You need to rely on a Serinho Dest to just simply overlap, try to make the opposition defender or left back sort of what you call it, kind of confused and go. You don't know whether to go to the player who's overlapping or whether to mark down the player who's going on against you in the one-on-one. So you have to create that sort of chaos, that sort of confusion. And that is a place where I think that Dembele lacked today, because of course it's going to be very simple when you have two players marking you. Either they mark you to the left or they mark you to the right. Each player can take one of the two sides, and that's simple. That is why it was so hard for Dembele to break through the right in this game, and he even did most of the time try to break away. Like, even with two players marking him, he did his best and was capable of, out of 6 dribbles, I believe, sort of come out with 4. And that just tells you how good this guy can really be when utilizing a proper system that Xavi is trying to employ. But then again, I think that having Senor Des over there could have helped Dembele probably a little bit more. Or what I would have done also is shift Dembele to the left and push Gavi to the right. I would have also tried that, because I think that perhaps Gavi playing a little bit more inwards, closer to home, kind of like a false winger, could have worked better. And then Dembele would just have to face off against Gilberto. And I think that if I rather take on a speed race between Gilberto and Lazaro, I think I would take Gilberto. He looks slower. Certainly not slow, but by any means, but he's slower than Lazaro. So that's kind of where I would have gone if I was Xavi. But I think that's the only kind of criticism I have overall. But then I'm not in any position to criticize Xavi. Like, I'm not. So so take that with a great pinch of salt. Of course, our objective should be now for the next game to try and get Ansu Fati back for the game against Bayern Munich. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard because it's on the second week of December. So on the 7th, we have 2 weeks to get Ansu Fati back. I don't know. It's hard. It's gonna be hard, but I think with Ousmane Dembele, Memphis Depay, and then if we try and get, I don't know, I think with Ousmane Dembele we're gonna have a much better time. But that's the other thing, we gotta keep Ousmane Dembele fit. So I guess that. Vivian says, Buga, every team can rely on a midfielder or defender to score for them. However, we rely only on Memphis. Why can't Yon, Nico, or Gavi take shots close to the box? We pass to Memphis way too early. I think that's mostly down because we never get the opportunity to get them in. Like, for instance, today De Jong had 2 possibilities, Vivian, where the ball was clinging upwards and he had the opportunity to head it, to bring it back down and shoot, but they were both saves. Like, it was unfortunate that he didn't score, but we saw that, for instance, last time around when we had De Jong playing, I remember the game against Atletico Bilbao, against Levante last season, he scored goals out of the midfield, and there was this run of games where De Jong just became a goal scorer. And I think the reason, or the thing, what I would like to take away from it is that when we had that opportunity to have De Jong coming through the middle was because we stretched out the game through the wings. Right now, Barcelona cannot have that because we don't have those wingers. Like, we are relying completely on Jordi Alba and Yusuf Demir for this entire game. Doesn't seem reliable to me. Doesn't seem constant because you need width from a left back, and then you're getting width from an 18-year-old right winger who, yes, is very good, but he's also playing as a right wing back and not like a natural right winger. So I don't know. I think that once we see Ousmane Dembele back more in this side, and then we get Ansu Fati, hopefully get another winger there, that is where we could see then these midfielders coming through the middle, because we don't get those opportunities. Like, I understand Gavi, Nico Gonzalez should shoot more, but when it comes down to the actual position of where they found themselves in the pitch, they're not in any situation really to find a shot on goal. That's kind of how I see it. Yo, Buga, 2 things to notice. Why don't you put them in the same comment? Because I have absolutely no idea where your 2 things to notice are. Anupam Mayumdar says, just imagine if we would have conceded that 93rd minute goal after such an amazing display. Oh yeah, dude. That goal from Haris Seferovic, dude, that would have destroyed me completely. Like, I thought, when I saw like Ter Stegen not save it, but when Seferovic kind of dinked it over the leg of Ter Stegen, you know that after games I'm always tired, so that shouldn't really come as a surprise. But after the chip on Ter Stegen, I thought that was going in. Like, to actually see then Seferovic miss, That's a sitter, honestly. That's a sitter. Like, I saw my life and the entire month I would have to do coverage of Barcelona in the Europa League flash just right from my eyes. Like, I really saw that all down together, and I feel there's a still possibility that can happen. I of course don't want it to happen, but Barcelona, this club is toxic. It's toxic, dude. It really, really is. Goku says we need a striker. Yep. So the 24 says stop promoting some FIFA. No one inside cares about your channel. Some people do come here, but I'll keep you noted. I don't like that either. I don't like spamming on them either, but it's important to have a little bit of traction for your videos. So maybe I'll find a new better way to promote that. Rivash Kumar says our only hope is Bayern rests its key players, especially Muir and Lewa. That move gave me Torres. Oh yeah, the Torres back between Chelsea and Bayern a long time ago. Against Bayern, against us a long time ago. Amine Kugomo says if we get a goal against Bayern, everyone should go into defense, play at 10-0-0. I think that actually no, against Bayern we should play the very same way, because that is kind of where we have to go. You know what I mean? Like, we have to go out there, press them, have a little bit of possession, have a little bit of belief. There's a chance that Bayern Munich will rest their players, like one of you just mentioned. And if that happens, I think Barcelona has a chance. Jair BM2 says, yo, Buga, 2 things to notice. Okay, here we go, finally. After losing last game, obviously improvement is noticeable. 2 consecutive clean sheets for Xavi, just saying. I think that is something to note 100%. I do really like to see how Araujo and Eric Garcia do under this formation or whatnot. I want to see them pairing up together. I think they're going to be very good. Christian Gomez says, is Araujo's injured? No, he's not injured. There was a press conference, post-match interview after that, and Araujo came out and just said it was cramped, but he's okay, so that's fine. I really like that. Viz says, we can't win Bayern. Let's pray Benfica loses. I think it's tough because Benfica have the game at home. Benfica has the game against Dinamo at home. So far right now, that's a place where I don't see us getting very lucky. I think that Barcelona has to be thinking that they have to go out there and beat Bayern. That's how I'm looking at it. And Duca again says, for me, it's all on John Laporta for this inexplicable indecision in sacking Koeman. That guy was running everything, but the president kept him off the job only to sack him and still pay him off. I guess you can always sack a manager sooner. Ame Kugomo again says, Araujo is more clinical than our feet forwards. Yep. Right now in this game, apparently it was. Dude, that's what I hate about this game anymore. Like, that chance from Araujo shouldn't really be an offside. Like, I think that when you are like there should, you know how like the goalkeeper has that chance where there's a clash. If there's a clash in within his area, you give a little bit of leeway to the goalkeeper because he's like goalkeeper advantage. I think we should have that like front foot advantage or something like that, where the attacker have a little bit of leeway when it comes to the front foot. That is what I think, honestly. Oh my god. Look, you take a look at today's ratings. I'm not going to show you on screen, but Ter Stegen has 7.5, Araujo has 0.0, Piqué 6.5, Lenglet's 5.5, Alba 7.5, Nico Gonzalez 7.5, Busquets 8.0, De Jong 7, Demir 6.5, Gavi 7, and Memphis Depay 4. Dude, Memphis Depay, he had so many opportunities to actually score, but I don't know. I think that some of you mentioned like he's trying to catch or push for the highlight, and I get that, but I think that he should have just scored with his left foot instead of cutting inside. Bongoman BW says perspective. On another day, Frankie's header goes in. The mirror shot is 2 inches lower and goes in. Araujo is a centimeter behind the offside line, and we're 3-0 up. Yep, I guess you could see it like that, but that's not what happened right now. Olalawa Kenneth says Barca shouldn't have loaned Griezmann, for goodness sake. That guy would have helped us. I understand. I agree with you. I think that I read a comment where it said that apparently Xavi talked to Griezmann and they called like, oh, it's very unfortunate that we cannot get you back or something like that. And I don't know how real that is, but I think Griezmann under Xavi would have worked quite good because when Xavi played, wingers like Pedro and Villa, they're not like Dembele. They're way more like Griezmann, so yeah. Christian Gomez said, no, Vivian says, but the guy shows up randomly. I'm just contemplating, not really saying that would have made a difference. And Duca says, I made some weird, but maybe we missed Braithwaite in this game. I think we missed Braithwaite in plenty games, honestly. He's a really different type of player. MIX FCB says, Depay is not a team player. In the summer, we need to sell him for 40-50 mil and use the money to buy a center back or at the EME. No, I think Depay is still a very good player for us. But if Xavi can get in his ear and tell him, you know what, you need to pass more, you just need to be, you know what, pass more, I think is the word. I think we could be better. Sam, thank you for the $5 donation, dude. And your comment is the following. Buga, let's just pray Robert Lewandowski will win the FIFA Ballon d'Or so Bayern Munich don't hold any grudges against us. They must be salty for that. They really should. So if the Bulls fit to play against Villarreal, I have no idea, but probably he will come off the bench again against Villarreal just in case. Because then we have then after Villarreal we have, I don't know who we have. I would assume would have been the best under Xavi. Yep, Jara King, I agree. I said. Christian Gomez says, Buga, what do you think Barca need to do to beat Bayern? What would be your ideal lineup? I'll do that in a minute. Do you think Frankie will be staying or he will be sold? I think Frankie will be staying. Rebash Kumar says, the problem is Dynamo has no incentive to play better against Benfica. They can't qualify for the Europa. I guess that's true. Daniel Ode says, are we fucked? Probably, but I have faith that we are not. I don't see the hate on Depay right now. It's just for the missed chances, but I don't like that. Depay can be very good for us. I wouldn't shit on him too much. I really wouldn't. Like literally, he has won us already so many points. So I honestly wouldn't really blame him for anything right now. I was watching a video, the worst, pointless video, honestly, pointless. Subiek Capuria says, we're seeing the Luis Enriquez Busquets, he's working so hard. Busquets is just glad. Yeah, like if you get Busquets working on the right system, he's gonna be amazing. And I'm thankful that Xavi's getting that back. Because when everybody else is on top of their game and they're constantly trying to narrow down the positions for interceptions and the work that he has to do defensively, Busquets can just focus on the thing that he does best, which is literally pass the ball and circulate it around. And I think that's how you say it. That's the version of Luis Enrique, and it all works. Lazy God says, bro, Bayern were alright in their match, and if I think they're the same against us, I think we're gonna win, not by a lot. I hope you're right, dude. Rivash Kumar says, Dortmund versus Bayern on the 4th of December, Bayern versus Bayern on the 8th. I hope they rest their key players. That's right. I hope they rest some players. MIX says, once again, the brilliance of FC Barcelona, fantastic is a big word. Realistically, the only good thing he does is cut inside. I don't know who you're talking about there. Unknown sect or whatever your second username is. The Pies alone, fit give credit where it's deserved. He has won as many points, only fit attacker every time he has an information, different players. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. It's honestly, every single time we get a new formation, the Pies always there, he's fit, but all the other players, all the other opportunities, there's no one. Like, we need somebody else to help us out. And nobody comes to the rescue. All of our players are injured. People saying that the pie cost us the game. I don't think that. Nirans Bunreth says, tonight's game was 6 defenders, 4 in the third, only 1 waiting for the counter. Good offside trap from Benfica. Barca was struggling in vertical pass to find a final third. Offside were against us and shots are target as well. That's one thing. I Ninja says they got a cover and that there. I don't know what you mean, but your comment just made me remember that there's currently a COVID outbreak in Bayern. Like, Kimmich has COVID and 2 other players have COVID. I don't know, but Kimmich has COVID confirmed. So who knows? Maybe COVID-19 at the end can help us in any way, shape, or form. Kule Luke says the Pai started his Barca career well, but his form dropped. We need to bench him to make his perform again. I think I get all your annoyance with Memphis, but I think Memphis is okay. The thing is that we just need better players around him, and if that doesn't work, sure, bench him. But for now, I'm happy with it. I'm really happy with what I'm seeing with him. Like, he tries, but of course those 2 misses are gonna hold him accountable. But I don't know really if we can blame everything of today's game on that. Like, it's just, he didn't cost us the game because we lost. Like, I guess you could say he cost us the win, but not far from that. So I really wouldn't put that much blame, that much pressure on the guy. Niran says once again, literally forgot Busquets. He literally runs the whole game. He still can't be pressed. The man is on another level. He's 100% on another level. Yeah, Kiran Prakesh, very well done. Buga, Benfica suddenly turned up like Italy's defense. Otamendi was Maldini for a night. Like, Otamendi was wow. Every single chance, every single one-on-one versus Memphis, he won. And the one that, like, every single one-on-one Memphis against Memphis, Otamendi won. They were imperious, and Gilberto looked like Roberto Carlos, dude. Like Cafu. Like, they were good, and I don't know what's up with these players, and particularly playing against Barcelona. I guess the fact that they can turn up, it was just like a hard pill to swallow, honestly, because they were dominating in defense. They were really, really good in the defense. So I really cannot blame much on them. They were doing good. They were doing very, very good. Lenglet, Depay, Alba underperformed. Yep, I agree with that statement. I think that overall, the player that for me was the worst-ish was Depay, and then Lenglet, and then Alba. Yeah, like Lersus Cummings says here, Otamendi's last-ditch tackle against Dembele was crazy. Dude, that was a thing of beauty. Like, I honestly was like, yeah, that's a good tackle. I couldn't honestly be mad about that. Camouflage says Benfica have zero mentality. They were happy drawing against youngsters and celebrating every tackle, time wasting, etc. I guess you could say that. David Alvarado, what are your thoughts on the mid performance? Anything you think you could have improved on? Yup, I'll get into that in a minute. MK 1971. For me, this result is Barca out, or is still there a chance to qualify for the next round? There's a chance, but we need to beat Bayern or hope that Dinamo beat Benfica. Yeah, it was. Otamendi looked like the Otamendi from Argentina. You said it right. Taragini says it's 4:30. I'm here, bro. I'm now going to sleep. Hope I see you next time. I win. Yeah, I hope you the same. Well, I'm Nick Gomez says put Neto striker now. Christian Gomez, I want to know what happened to Lenglet, man. He used to be reliable, and now he gives me a heart attack. Every time that we see Lenglet now, he's so unreliable. Ciara Masin, welcome back. You say, I think the subs were a bit late, and we shouldn't have started the Mir. He was indecisive, defensive, was completely confused. Two defenders were much better. I think that, let's talk about the subs and then the Mir. So I think with the subs, they could have come a bit sooner. I give you that. I think they could have arrived a bit sooner. But overall, they were the right subs. I like you say, I just would have done them a little bit sooner. Like I think that if we're talking about trying to gain control back into the game, Xavi needs to be ensuring that those things are happening sooner. But apart from that, I think they were the right call. And then when we talk about, the Mir, I think that the Mir was... We didn't have that many options. Like, he's an 18-year-old kid in a country outside of his own. He doesn't... I bet he doesn't have that many friends here. He might be struggling. He might be a little bit out of place. So a game like this is going to be huge for him. And Xavi had faith in him. And he was good in certain occasions. He almost scored a golazo. So fair on the kid. But when we're talking about him compared to Dembele, there's no difference. Like there's a complete gap in the middle between him and Dembele. Of course, Dembele is a much better player right now, and I think we could just kind of blame him. I think Demir is very one-sided. I think he always cuts in through the left. Whenever you see him trying to go on his right, he doesn't have the confidence to do it. He doesn't have the risk to take it, and most importantly, he's not as confident to go with his right foot as his left. So we will always end up having a player like cutting through the left, and it's very easy to defend. You need that extra bit of flair, put it like that, if you really want to show yourself to be a proper right winger for a team like Barcelona. So that is where I would be telling Demir to look at himself and be a bit better. But overall, so far right now, I'm happy with what I'm seeing from him. So I really wouldn't stress that much. Danilo, they says, imagine if Xavi loses the next game, then it'll be like Pep when he took charge of Barca, won his first game, drew the next, and then lost the next. Yep, that's true. Rebash Kumar says, Buga, out of all the things we seriously missed, we missed Fatih decisive. Yeah, but I agree. Our chances of winning the Europa League is big if we go there. Are you asking or are you telling me? Honestly, Coutinho at false 9 needs to be given a good chance. Memphis has had his turn. I think we should try Coutinho, Memphis, and Dembele. What can Demir do with that many defenders? His performance was okay. Yeah, I mean, it was okay. It was not bad. He just needs to improve that. What's your best lineup if everyone was fit? Just curious. I'll tell you in a minute. Did you notice those through passes from Dembele? Yeah, and thank you for the donation, Redille. Thank you very much. And yeah, I did notice those passes. He was really on point with them. He did a pass, a Messi-esque pass to Jordi Alba. And I like it from Dembele. Dembele can really build himself into this team. So I like that. I really like that. So to answer Hamad, Kabir, and somebody else of you asked me what will be my lineup for next game. First of all, I'll do a lineup for the game against Bayern. I think I would play... I would probably play again with a back three of Piqué, Eric Garcia, and Ronald Araujo. I would go with Serginho Dest for the right. I would go with Jordi Alba for the left. I would go with Busquets, Frankie de Jong, and then I would go with Gavi, Memphis, and Dembele. Or instead of Gavi, Nico Gonzalez. That is what I would do for the next game against Bayern. But if we're talking, or maybe Pedri's fit. No, Pedri's not fit. Pedri's unfit for like 2 months. So yeah, that's what I would do. But then if we're talking about my ideal lineup, if everyone is fit, I would go with a back four of Jordi Alba, Eric Garcia, Ronaldo Araujo, and Sergio Dest. I will go in the middle with Busquets, Frankie, and Pedri. And then up top, I would go with Memphis, Ansu, and Dembele. That's my lineup. Simple as that. Kiran Prakash Hari says, Buga, what do you think about the Europa League? Because what's the use of going to a round of 16 where we will have favorite teams like Man City and Liverpool, like teams getting knocked out, and then go to Europa League and win a trophy? Well, there are many differences. I think that right now is much better for Barcelona to go to round of 16 because financially we need that money. That money of classifying to round of 16 is a good boost, and Barcelona could use that. The Europa League doesn't pay as much, of course. And then again, I think that for the reputation of the club, it's important to keep themselves battling out in the UCL. And once again, you never know what can happen. And then the other thing is that the Europa League will drain our team so much because we have to play on the Thursdays, and then we have to play on the weekend. And Barcelona are not guaranteed Champions League next season, so I wouldn't like to be committed to an extra competition per se if we don't have that. You know what? I wouldn't like to be committed to that because then we could lose potential crucial points in the title race. Of course, I'm not saying we're in a title race, but we need to classify for Europe 100%. We need to classify for Champions League next season. So that's where I would stand with it right now. I think it's very, very important for us to stay there. So I wouldn't try and risk it, you know? Karha Kante says Grimaldo is not good defensively. The mirror made fun of him. Yeah, Grimaldo is not good. He's not good defensively. Yeah. The assist is Memphis. Really, yeah, I would put Memphis. David Alvarado says Buga, Coutinho being benched in another important game. At this point, is there any future for the Barcelona's most expensive signing? I think that there is a chance for Coutinho, but like Xavi said in the last press conference, if I believe, or not the last press conference, but the press conference against who was it? Oh my god, I forgot. The press conference against Espanyol. He said that Coutinho can play and he has faith on Coutinho, but he would like to see more confidence on him. And I think that is an important thing that perhaps that's where Coutinho is lacking. Once we see more confidence from Coutinho, I'm sure he's going to be getting way more game time. So I would just put it like that right now. I wouldn't really stress that much about it. I don't know what's happening to the pipe, but he ain't the same anymore at Barca. Once again, I keep saying the same thing. It's because of the fact that he needs to play with wingers. That's what I see. Memphis Depay, that he needs to improve. That's what I see. Subika Puya says Xavi should use his 5 subs properly. The players started in the second half after that intense first half pressing. I agree with you. I think that we could have seen perhaps Ricky Puig instead of Gavi. I think Gavi was knackered at the end of the game. So that's a place which we should be keeping improving. Amondi equally says Memphis has lost his confidence. Yeah, he's really been pushed down a rabbit hole where it's going to be hard to come out. And that's where us fans come into place. Like, we shouldn't be putting that much pressure on Memphis Depay. We really shouldn't be doing that. Christian Gomez says, I rate Picasso ball playing center back, but he's so goddamn slow that if we lost control of the game, is either unreliable or getting sent off for stupid fouls. That's my problem with him. I think the problem with Piqué is that, very similar to that, he just gets carried away a little bit too much. And right now in this stage of his career, of course, it's going to be hard to rely on him that much. So I agree with you. I think that we should start seeing now more of Eric Garcia and Araujo. That's what we need, honestly. We need them both. We need to see more of them. We just need to transition to the new era. And so far right now, we're not seeing it. So that's kind of where I've been going with it if I were Xavi. I want to see Eric Garcia and Araujo playing a back four together. Or maybe even try a back three with Eric Garcia at the center of it and then have someone like Araujo and Miguel at both the two sides. I think that could work as well very nicely. God, but you know what I wanted the most of all, guys? I want to see more of Dembele. I think that Dembele, honestly, like Dembele has the potential to go up there and be a generational talent. Like Dembele is a generational talent. The thing is that he just needs the game time. He just needs the game time to be as good as we all know he can be. So I really wouldn't stress it that much, but I just want to see more of Dembele. I think that a proper Dembele could be dangerous. Could be really, really dangerous. Imagine Dembele and Ansu Fati on both wings. That's serious business. Dembele for me is the player that we need to recover, honestly, above all. Amara Skiri says, it's not a coincidence that Memphis hasn't been good since Griezmann left. That is not a bad point. That is certainly not a bad point. Yeah, like JKN says, Dembele, the most talented player ever, just needs to stay fit. He just needs to stay fit. Like if he stays fit, he's gonna be amazing. Abdul Hari says, we need Dembele in great shape all the time. The only player who can give us great chances up front. I hate that everyone else always back passes every time they're pressed. Why can't we play false line with the Depay on the left wing and Dembele on the right with a creative whole type player playing the false line role like Coutinho and maybe Gavi? I think that is what I would do as well. Like for the next game, I could try that. I said my lineup would be Gavi, Dembele, and Memphis. But honestly, it can go either way. I don't care who plays for the middle, but I would like to see that. I think that with a false nine creative player like Coutinho or Gavi could work very nicely. It really could work out nicely. It really could. And God, you know who we're missing as well? We're missing Pedri so much. We're missing Pedri so much. Right now I'm looking at the squad and like we're very depleted. Like we have plenty of injuries and I cannot explain to myself why do we have so many injuries. But Pedri is the guy that I want to recover. Like Pedri could help us so much. I want to recover Pedri. I really do. I think that if we get him back, that would be amazing. That really would be. I'm looking at Gavi right now, and Gavi's stats are very good, but Pedri just gives you something else. Like those two together would be insane. So I just can't wait for that to happen. But I cannot wait for us to recover Pedri. I think that is one player that we're missing much. We are really missing Pedri right now. Why is everyone saying so FIFA? What is the thing you're saying? So FIFA is a page that that is good. That it's just a website where you have many players, and when I take a look at the players' moves and stuff like that, I just go there because they have like it's based on FIFA, like the game FIFA, but it's basically for FIFA players. But I use it more as a database because I have every single player out there. Like it's like Transfer Market, but just way easier for me to use and find, because Transfer Market is so like convoluted, and that's what I'm literally on FIFA right now. It's one of my favorite pages out there. I don't know why, but I just like it. I just like it. Braithwaite is needed. Thanks for Ilex Moriba. We found out Gavi and Nico. I guess that's true. Wow. And with that comment of JKN that says, "Can we have all black players on forward so we can give BBC to opponents?" With that comment, I think I will be signing off, dude. Luis, go on general discussions of FIFA, please. What's general discussions? Lol. This is so funny. Dude, I honestly don't mind that they care that I spam here. I don't care. Like, it's my favorite page. As many more people use FIFA, the better. I love it. I'm reading it. Mission success. What's ratio? Like, that's something I never got in real life. I think ratio means like when you get worse interactions on your tweet or something like that. So Benfica fun for a day. I'm gonna put a nice image. Anthony's. Who the hell is Anthony's? How far can we go in the UCL if we manage to go ahead in the run as 18? So Fuka Kapuria says, Buga, there is some scam by the way. Arthur Pjanic swap deal. What happens now? Do we get Arthur back? Would be lit. I don't know where Arthur would fit now on this one, honestly. Joey Jose, this current Bayern is actually not as good as Hansi Flick's Bayern. It's not over yet. They're all play an open game and we'll still have a chances. I do agree with that. I do think that they're certainly not the same thing. Dustin reps finished players. I mean, he's at least the one guy who's trying to do something about it, right? He's trying to promote and give health to those finished players. Dude, so FIFA Master, I read honestly Peru's news once made a thing where they like a link to La Padula and Barcelona. They really did that. The Depay just needs to score in Champions League. Xavi should get replaced by Sergio Samper. I don't think that should happen. This update is only about contracts. I have no idea who Santon is. Buga, stop spamming. Yeah, I get that. Lenglet and Depay were our worst players today. Yeah. Why are you saying it's Koeman's fault? It's Laporta's fault, nobody else. Like, I don't blame you, Guillermo. I don't blame you. Honestly, I thought that Seferovic, like, final shot was the end. Okay, with that being said, I'm gonna call this a day and I'm gonna go play some Dota 2 that you know I love. So I'll see you in the next one. Bye.